So, Voracious Hydra. That's why we talked about Leyland of Abundance, about Oath of Nissa, and the creation of Pioneer, and how a ban a week into the format, not even in paper, was unprecedented. And I want to talk about how in 2011 with Modern, how that was also unprecedented. And so I'm going to use the term the moderning to kind of compare and draw comparisons between the two formats in their inception. So what we have going on right now is pretty crazy because every week there's a new ban or the potential of a new ban. And in Modern in 2011, we had the first Pro Tour in Philadelphia of the format with Countercat. We had Splinter Twin. We had Infect. We had Titan. We had Affinity. Like all of these busted in half strategies and really powerful effects go unchecked. And yet the format was still pretty diverse. People seemed to enjoy it, and it started catching on like this, just absolute fire. The community really started to get into it after that event, and despite the fact that the format was kept in check by bans, there was a lot of craze for Modern. And it's interesting to see that go down as probably one of the most important things in Magic's history, honestly. Uh, we saw Extended move away, Modern become literally the format, Legacy kind of take a back burner hit, and how it was initially met with skepticism because we didn't see anything like it in the past with Magic. And so this was new territory for Magic as a game, but I think it needed Modern to kind of keep going, keep propelled up, because you had a lot of turmoil with Standard. You had people moving away from Legacy because of the cost. The increase of prices was a byproduct of the creation of Modern, and so we're seeing similar occurrences here with Pioneer. And I want to talk about this bad boy again, and how last week I talked about how what a foolish purchase that was of me personally, and yet how naive I could be only a week later. We see, and well, I'm going to go ahead and predict that at SCG Con, this will be everywhere. Voracious Hydra everywhere, on camera all weekend long. And I think it's just kind of ironic how I was using Voracious Hydra as an example of kind of an outrage culture kind of thing to say that, well, I just invested all of this and now it's just thrown out the window. And so I didn't actually take the stance that Voracious Hydra was just gone. I wanted to illustrate how you could take that reaction, but how the format would be accepting to so many different strategies. And I kind of gave the statement of just wait, just chill. That was ultimately my message of, if you're new to the format, which we all are, but in the sense that you don't own cards within Pioneer, I kind of just gave a cautionary tale to say, okay, let's just chill, let's just wait it out a little bit. And I still think that holds true, because this SCG Con, this Invitational, is going to be the first major event in paper. We just saw Veil of Summer banned, and I'm only going to briefly mention that. And that coming kind of out of left field, honestly, although maybe warranted. There's a lot of controversy there. But the point being, this is going to be uncharted waters for Pioneer, because it's the first in paper, in person event where we can really kind of like get some personality to it, where we see a lot of the big figureheads in the SEG circuit and even pros playing in this format, really spending and investing a lot of time and energy to try and come out with the best deck, the best strategy, and what that may do to the format, how will Wizards respond. But the moderning, I want to bring it back to that and how that at the time was unprecedented. And I want to illustrate that a lot of exploration was done in Modern. And this was prior to the time that I think we've kind of gone into the past couple years, where something catches fire, it puts up a really good result online, and then Twitter lights up, and then Facebook lights up, articles get written, podcasts get made. all of this content and media is just hyped, and we see the format of standard and modern shift on a dime, on an instant, and how quickly those formats adapt, and how this maybe creates some jaded side effects for the consumer and for you at home. Myself included, modern and standard have been tiring, they've been stressful, and now we have Pioneer, and it's a breath of fresh air. Honestly, comparing it to modern, I think is a fair comparison, because people were experimenting everywhere, and all the while, I think, having a really good time. And before this huge craze on social media where a pro would spike an event, and then it's now you have to respond to that, and not even 24 hours later. So when I compare it to modern and that format's creation, I think Pioneer, especially with being kept in check by week bans, when we look at this from a financial point of view, I think overreactions are a little too strong, because there can be that huge change not even a week later. But I think it's very clear that investment-wise, this has impacted on a very grand scale and shows financially how much demand can influence the price of Magic cards. We see modern staples going down, legacy staples going down, and Pioneer going right up the roof. And there's a lot of people that I've talked to that it's like, well, are these prices going to hold? And are these downturns in modern and legacy, is that going to hold? And it's difficult to say, and I'm biased, and I want to be transparent too. I want to be as transparent and come across as much integrity as possible with these videos, and say I do work for a shop, and so my bias does lean towards that. But I want to be as transparent as possible with these videos, and try and also present a point of view that isn't biased in any way. And I think for me personally, when looking at this format, I think modern has clearly taken a hit, and I think it will continue to take a hit. I think standard as well will continue to take a hit, even if the format gets addressed with bannings, even if the format gets addressed with the Theros set. There's irreparable damage there, I think, to standard, and the popularity of modern has been easily surpassed by Pioneer. What I think will continue to happen is, especially given the time of year, financially, historically speaking, around December, January, February, there's a big decrease in price for the most part. And that generally means for you, that's a great time to buy cards and invest in cards. And I think this is still holding true for modern and legacy especially. And now would be a great time to maybe invest in those cards. You see these changes happening, and you own a lot of these cards, and the immediate response is, it's not a good response, right? But I do think in time, the popularity of modern or legacy, or maybe they get intertwined, if that was to happen, I think there's going to be some gain there, where over time these prices will start to go back to a certain threshold, because it's still modern at the end of the day. People still own those cards, and the immediate response, the short-term response, is that Pioneer is everywhere, right? And I think you're going to see like this balancing effect, where right now you have staples of Pioneer going through the roof. Those will tend to kind of narrow out a little bit, and modern cards being on the downturn might start creeping back up over time. That's a thought. It's genuinely what I feel. I think right now there's a lot of panic, but financially speaking, I think the popularity of Pioneer is super fire right now, and I think it will continue to do so only till we get to that unfortunate state where it's been kept in check by bans on Wizards. The format starts to get a little bit more predictable, and decks start to be really formulated and really hashed out, and now you have an established metagame where it's like week to week, it's like, I'm on this, he's on this, and so I'm going to beat all of this with this. that's kind of how Modern is to some extent right now. And when we get to that stage, the popularity and the love and the passion of Pioneer might start creeping down. As long as the format's fresh, it has that love and that drive and that desire to continue to explore and improve and implement. And I think because it's a smaller card pool, that's going to be a long lasting effect, because especially with new sets coming out and being more prominent and more powerful to the format, rather than Modern that was somewhat bogged down by the strength and the sheer versatility of fetch lands. Without that aspect, it means that future sets are more impactful, and it also means that with the smaller card pool right now, at least in general, the more powerful cards are going to be very strong, and there's going to be a lot of change and shift in the metagame as people continue to explore those options. So to wrap everything up, I think short term, there's a lot of knee-jerk reactions to Modern and Pioneer, and I think this will reach a boiling point, so to speak, and an equilibrium, and kind of middle out. And so I think, again, almost the same hot take that I had last week, where my hot take was actually just to chill. It was the opposite of a hot take. I think more or less the same after the banning of Veil of Summer and upcoming SEG Invitational. I think just relax, just wait it out. Things will occur where prices will go up, prices will go down. They'll continue to fluctuate, but at the end of the day, you might have cards that increase in value and you might have cards that decrease in value. Have fun with the format, play what you want to play, and enjoy it while it's really, really fresh, and you can do whatever you want, and there's a lot of valid strategies out there. And as the tuning continues with Wizards and things keep getting kept in check, it might lose some of that fresh appeal. But I think this format has a lot to deliver in terms of fun gameplay. And at the end of the day, financially, investment-wise, gameplay-wise, deck choice-wise, just kind of wait it out. And we're still in for a roller coaster. We're in for more bannings, more crazy announcements. We're in for some really fun times, I think. And I think to keep it in a optimistic point of view, I think that's the most important thing of don't panic, don't make any rash decisions, and just mellow out and enjoy it while it's here, because I think this is a really fun time of Magic, of this amazing like day-to-day, week-to-week change and shift in metagame means as well that things aren't established yet. So you can do what you want to do, pick a strategy and enjoy it, and be generally okay, I think. Things might adjust, things might change. Prices are going to go up, prices are going to go down. But right now I think you're good to enjoy the format and appreciate it for the rapid banning and changing and craziness that it is right now, because I think that's actually creating a fun environment to play the format. So thank you all for watching. I want to continue to iterate on these videos. Up here you can see my last video that I did talking about the bans, and I'm having a fun time with this. I want to continue to work on this craft, so any feedback is very much appreciated, and any support is very much appreciated. Like, subscribe, sharing, commenting. That means a lot to me, because right now I'm doing this as a passion and as a joy, and I'm finding a lot of joy, and so any support is just another motivation factor for me. So thanks guys, take care, and have a good one.